Hi, my name is Linda, and I'm from the visual team at Infor Global Solutions. I'd like to talk to you about the Performance Lead Time feature in version 9.0. This feature is part of the continuous improvement capabilities which help users to manage time and cost from quote through cash. Users will be able to record estimated and actual times during the sales process by using process types and activities, and then graphically display comparisons between the estimate, actual, and percent complete. The capturing of dates, duration, and percent complete will be done either programmatically, by a new macro, or both. By default, the updating of these fields will be done by visual programs and then macros. To change the default processing so that only macros update these fields, use the Update Process Activity setting in Preference Maintenance. Note that users may want to create the Save Process macro, because the method used to calculate percent complete and actual days may be different for each user. Creating or updating the following documents may update process activity: quotes, sales orders, work orders, shipments, RMAs, invoices, and payments. For example, shipping an order may update or complete the shipment process type and the production process type, and start the invoice process type. Details of how the program's update process activity may be found in Chapter 14 of the Sales User's Guide. In Part Maintenance, we have added a new option to set up process types. Process types are used to create a set of predefined processes associated with parts. To create a process type, enter an ID, site ID, and insert each step that you would like to define an estimate of days for. Enter a process name, document type, sequence number, and standard days. Once you save a process type, it will appear in the Process Type dropdown on the main screen and in the Browse window. Once you assign a process type to a part, new quotes and orders for this part will begin to generate process activity. To demonstrate this, suppose I create a new order for the part I just added a process type to. When you save the order and select the Process Activity option from the Edit menu, you'll see the list of processes we set up for this part. On this screen, you can manually update actual days, percent complete, start date, and end date. Notice that start date has already been automatically updated to the order date. If you do not want users to manually update the screen, you may turn off access to it by using Program Component Security for this program. Once you have process activity entered for a quote or order, you may view the data using a few new screens. Your Process Activity View panel and Lead Time Lifecycle window have been added to the Estimating window and Order Entry programs. The View panel displays two graphs. The first graph is showing the standard days versus actual days, and the second graph displays the percent complete for each activity. The Lead Time Lifecycle screen displays a graphical view of the overall progress of the process activity. The percent overall may be calculated one of two ways, depending on the setting in the View menu. The percent overall by process method is the default method and will calculate the percentage based on the average of the percent complete of each activity. For example, here I have three processes at 100% complete, one at 50 and the other at 0, so the percent overall is 70. Percent overall by days method calculates the percentage based on the total actual days divided by total projected days. Here the total actual days of all processes is 8.5, so this divided by the total projected days of 10 produces the overall percent of 85. The lead time due date is the expected date of completion based on the standard days. The projected date is the expected date of completion based on the actual days and percent complete. Both values take into account the global weekly calendar and the calendar exceptions when calculating the dates. One last thing to note here is that you may change the colors associated with an activity type by using the Color Preference menu item under the Options menu. Earlier in the presentation, I mentioned you could update process activity using macros. Let me demonstrate this for you. In Preferences Maintenance, I'll turn off the automatic program processing by switching the Update Process Activity switch to N. In Order Entry, I have created a Save Process macro which will update the percent complete for the sales order activity to 25 when an order is released. When I create a new firmed order and save, you can see that process activity was created, but the fields were not updated because the automatic program processing is turned off. I'll leave this open and change the order from firmed to released. When I refresh the process activity screen, you'll see the percent complete has been updated. If you would like to view process activity across process types or documents, you may use the new charts available in the dashboard. Note that these charts use the same security as the other standard dashboard charts. Process activity percent over standard and process activity average performance have been added as system analytics. Similar to other charts, there are multiple filters available. The percent over standard chart will display the percentage of completed activities which took longer than the standard days. When you click on a bar in this chart, a list of the completed activities which are used to calculate the bar's percentage will be displayed. If you scroll to the right, it'll show you the standard days, actual days, and a checkbox indicating if the activity for the order took longer than the standard days. The average performance chart will display the average number of days that an activity is completed compared to standard. When you click on a bar in this chart, a list of the completed processes which are used to calculate the bar's percentage will be displayed. If you scroll to the right, it will show you the standard days, actual days, and the percentage over standard. In addition to the system charts, percent over standard and average performance detail grids have also been added. This concludes my presentation of performance lead time.